Many hold the view that teachers with a specific caliber degree will be better placed to teach more able students and achieve success rather than others. What are some of the myths you've heard about education? How often do you come across students, parents, and educators with mythological beliefs? How do you respond? In every arena there are myths, and many of them. People arbitrarily decide on theories, and before long they become beliefs, even before they are debunked. Hence, we have a variety of them to contend with, and the field of education is no exception. Let's examine some of the commonplace myths you hear about education and become more prepared in developing a response. Many people have their various methods of pedagogies that they prefer to use and implement. However, as quickly as a new pedagogical approach arises and becomes practiced, new evidence emerges that suggests it's not as efficient as previously thought. Some instructional approaches are more productive than others in achieving outcomes. Teacher-led instructions have had many criticisms. Nevertheless, it is not as passive as most people try to assert. Teacher-led instructions is not limited to rote memorizations or traditional lecture-style education. Teacher-led instructions involves demonstrations, exploratory models, inquiry-based learning in a learning environment where students have a level of autonomy, room for creativity, and take ownership of their learning through tactile, collaborative, and independent learning activities. Teacher-led instructional approach provides opportunities where students learn by doing, discussion, observation, and teaching others as the teacher facilitates this learning process. Teachers are extremely important in students' learning. They are the most impactful in students' outcomes in schools, especially where the culture created for success and excellence is well established. Nevertheless, there are several other factors that influence students' outcomes much more than teachers or schools. Education has approximately 20 to 30% impact on students' outcomes. The other 80 to 70% is impacted by factors such as the student's mindset and intrinsic motivations, their socioeconomics, their social environment, and qualities in terms of their home environment, among other factors. And these have far greater powers to influence students' outcomes than schools and educators. Therefore, students' outcomes should not be solely held in the hands or blamed on schools and educators. Schools and educators are always seeking the next initiative that will increase students' outcomes. There is always a drive to motivate, engage, and stimulate learners to ensure better outcomes. Nevertheless, not every strategy that finds success in one country, culture, school, or classroom will necessarily reap the same benefits when transferred elsewhere. Strategies have many catalysts that impact on their successes and hence how they will influence outcomes elsewhere. Educators need to explore circumstances and examine why strategies are successful and the conditions required for its success. They equally need to determine where these conditions can be realized and if by doing so the impact can be recreated before taking on the endeavor of imposing strategies without fully exploring how they could benefit and have the desired impact when implemented. Because cutting and pasting practices have shown not to be successful. Most students completing their homework from primary to secondary school will have added an extra year of study in either phase. For that reason, many believe that homework will boost students' achievement. Homework does have the ability to improve students' achievement. However, the type and nature of the homework and the quality with which it is completed will determine the impact it has on students' learning. Where students are simply researching and copying and pasting without any demonstrable understanding, that will not have the impact on outcomes as desired. Students need to practice, recall, repeat, and consolidate information so that they are able to assist in their own retention of the knowledge. Quality homework pieces completed consistently and at a high standard will certainly support students' understanding, retention, and application, and hence their outcomes. Class size does matter. There are several research papers that clearly indicates that large schools and equally large classes have a negative impact on students' development and pedagogical quality. Primary educators have a class size of approximately 30 students with varying needs and are planning several subjects, and they need to teach and provide useful feedback for students' development. Secondary school teachers see approximately 150 or more students in every given day and need to plan for and meet all their learning needs. Independent schools and intervention classes show that extra personal attention and instruction are given to students with more immediate and effective feedback when class sizes are smaller. Therefore, class sizes do impact on learning because of the various aspects that needs to be managed in a successful classroom that educators are stretched trying to manage effectively when they are teaching groups of rather large class sizes. Many hold the view that teachers with a specific caliber degree will be better placed to teach more able students and achieve success rather than others. Similarly, the view is held that poorer performing teachers are better placed with lower achieving students. These concepts could not be more wrong. Low achieving students need quality pedagogy and highly skilled practitioners who have the wherewithal to break concepts down and find various approaches to convey these concepts so that they can be well understood and then applied. Higher attaining students are already able to reason, justify, and make meaning of new knowledge, especially when fundamental concepts are already embedded and they are using and applying them more seamlessly. Recognizing teachers' strength and ability is important to getting the best out of students. This cannot simply be left to the assumption that they are able to teach students at a level for them to comprehend simply because of the degree accreditation that they hold. In every situation, deciphering myths from facts is extremely important. No more a place is this relevant than in educating young minds for future leadership. Contemplating the various myths that exist and dissolving the weight they carry, and with it the negative learning experience for students and the negative impact on their accomplishment is the job for educators, school leaders, and training institutions. Which of these myths do you hear most frequently? Are there any that you held previously?